Okay, today we're going to talk about Petra Hess and her website PetraPicks.com. Went ahead and went back to my webcam and the computer screen here because I thought to give you a little better idea of what we were talking about. I want to start out by going into a little bit about who Petra Hess is and go over her website a little. It's important for my overall review, so please stick with me. Now, one thing I notice as you scroll down the website where it says Meet Petra Hess is it gives you an idea of where she came from. And you can see that she got started in business, made her first million, it says here, by the age of 25, primarily doing different things in Europe, exporting livestock and transporting ostriches, and even sold cosmetics on shopping channels around the world in order to get her first million. And that's, again, keep that in mind. I'm going to get back to that later in the review. The other thing you see is she decided to get into trading because during the financial crisis, her financial manager lost about half of her income and wasn't very responsive to her when she would ask questions about it. So she decided she could do a better job. It says here that it took her about 8 years before she was able to really be a successful trader and get a system that worked, and that's about right. If you're teaching yourself and you're learning yourself, it does take some time. I can say from my personal experience, 8 years is probably how long it took me before I really knew what I was doing when it came to trading, because you go through a lot of different systems. Some work, some don't. And then even if you have some that work, you have to find the one that's right for you. So I agree with her, from that standpoint. That 8-year time period is pretty good. Now, she does say here you can get started for free, and that's how we did it ourselves, and then we went from there. But so certainly it's great. They offer a free program to get started. If you scroll down the site, she here gives some of her successes. Most of these are pretty reasonable. I mean, if you look at the percentage, that is, if you look at these percentage increases and gains she's got, this is not unreasonable. From our trading, yeah, we can see this, but there were losses. So, that's one thing she doesn't address on the website. There are losses that you're going to have to take into account, and that's the same with any system. I'm going to scroll down a little further to give you an idea of what the cost is. She has two primary ways to join. I'm not going to talk about the power trading course, but her gold system, we'll bring it up here and bring it up in a separate tab for you. And you can scroll down and you get an idea of what you get in the gold system, primarily daily watch list, buy sell alerts, and the online and video training, which this is very important, and this is something we like to see in any program we review is training. The price, keep scrolling down. This is a standard long buy-in sheet or landing page that you see on a lot of sites. Not overly fond of them. They're a little commercial, but they seem to work because a lot of people use them. But anyway, she says that yearly it's about $2,000. You can right now you can get it for about $15.96, which is a little bit of a discount, and you get the daily stock watch list, the buy alerts, the sell alerts, and the online video training. The other program she offers would be her Platinum course. I'll scroll back down to it. Hold just a second. Bring it up for you in a separate tab so we can take a look at it. The Platinum course gives you a few more things. We did not do the Platinum course, but you get some live group coaching, exclusive members only chat room. We have seen the chat room through another way, and the chat room, it's a standard chat room. You talk about different trades and things of that nature. Not a big deal. You see here it's about $4,000 a year, and then you get the $2,000 power trading course for free. We didn't review this and are not looking at it today, mainly because we thought this was honestly $2,000 for that 4-week course. We didn't really think that was very much value, and we'll get into that in just a few minutes also. Now, what do we think about her course? Well, the first thing we noticed before we get to the course and when we start evaluating any system is we try to evaluate the person behind the system. And I told you we would get back to her background. Scroll back up to that, and you notice she seems a little bit like a serial entrepreneur, and obviously a successful one. So one concern we had when we see this type of background is this person a real trader? Is it someone who is, developed a system that really works? And obviously, if she's selling it, she's trying to make a profit on it, and we understand that part. But is that who she is, or is she a person that just sees another opportunity to make money? And it doesn't necessarily matter how productive or how good the course is. This is just another way for a person to make money. A serial entrepreneur that moves from industry to industry or thing to thing, looking for money-making opportunities. Now, just because a person is selling a course and they, let's say, get into it just because they think they can make money on it, doesn't necessarily mean that the course is bad or what they're offering is bad. But it is something that we put as a star by because it's something we have a concern about. The second thing that we had a concern about is when you search online for Petra Hess or PetraPicks, you're about 1 or 2 degrees of separation away from Jason Bond. Her name and her system seems to always lead to Jason Bond. Now, in all honesty, we have never reviewed Jason Bond's courses, which is strange because we see them all the time. I guess the easiest reason I can give you that we haven't reviewed it is because his particular trading style in the past has not been something that we like. It's just not the way we trade. And for that matter, neither is Petra's trading style. Not saying it's not successful, it's just not what we like to trade. And that's probably one reason we haven't reviewed Jason Bond yet. I think we probably will. Something because of how much he advertises, which is, again, one of and I guess we'll call it a red flag, because we see his advertisements everywhere. Facebook, Google, YouTube, no matter where you go, if you're searching for trading systems, you're going to come across Jason Bond. And that concerns us some when we're looking for quality, trading, because again, is this a person that's just trying to make money on selling a course, whether it works or not? Or is this a person that just sees a business opportunity to sell their expertise and into good courses that actually work? I think we all are a little gun shy because we've seen so many things that are hyped, and it seems like the more they're hyped, the less reliable they are. And as a result of that, when we see Jason Bond's commercials, it tends to make us cringe because it is just so overhyped. And the fact that pretty much all the searches you do for Petra Hess or PetraPicks will eventually lead you to Jason Bond, it doesn't mean this is a scam by any means. It's just something that made us cringe a little bit because of that over-the-top sales style that Jason Bond has. When you're trying to sell to people, showing them your luxury yacht or your Lamborghini or your island paradise house or whatever you might have in a lot of these type sites and a lot of these type advertisements, it does make you a little nervous and make you wonder, are they just selling you a program or are they selling you something that works? The third thing that was a little bit of a red flag to us before we got started is when we review a system or a person or a trading style, we like to Google them and see what other people thought, get an idea, especially after we've gone through it, to see if what we saw was the same thing other people saw. Well, when we Googled Petra Hess and PetraPicks, what we found was a lot of websites that just gave, honestly, gushing reviews. And you almost never find that. There's some trading systems out there that we've already reviewed that we really, really like. But when you Google them, you're going to find some people that had negative experiences. With Petra, we didn't find that, and that concerned us some because that's just odd. Now, I will say there wasn't a lot from a Google standpoint that we found, but what we did is we went to those websites and we started reading what they said. One thing we noticed is a lot of the websites said kind of the exact same thing about her, which was interesting. The next thing is we started to dig into those websites and started clicking on their links. We found that they all led back to Petra Hess. And what they were is they were affiliate links. At least that's our opinion of what they were. They were affiliate links. So these are people that are hyping PetraPicks or Petra Hess in order to make money for people that sign up. So these reviews, therefore, are pretty much, you can just throw them out the door because they're just trying to get you to buy. Now, does that by itself mean that the PetraPicks system is a scam. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that what you're seeing on Google isn't really giving you a fair representation of what she sells and what her system is. Now we'll get on to her course and her system. First of all, the course was pretty good. No real problems there. It taught you a system. I will say that no system works all the time, and sometimes when you get into these trading programs, you'll kind of get the impression that you're going to have continual success. And really, trading is about making more money than you lose in its simplest form. But really, that takes a system. It takes an idea of what the market's doing, and it takes a good way to cut your losses in a timely fashion and not hold on to them. So yes, the courses were valuable. Yes, the courses taught you money. Taught you how to trade. But I guess the question is, were the courses worth what you have to pay to get them? And then that's one place that we have a little bit of a question. Most of what you find in those courses, yes, she has her own trading style, but it was very similar to a lot of other trading styles. Now, we don't give away the trading styles of the people we review. We don't get into too much on that because we don't want to give away their product or what they're trying to teach you. Number one, we don't think that's a very moral thing to do because that's theirs, and we're just trying to give you a review of how we thought it worked for us. And then number two, it's probably illegal, for us to, because it's probably copyrighted. So I can't really tell you exactly how she traded. You do get some ideas from it, as you read through her site, and again, proven patterns. So it's that she's looking at certain patterns, and you can tell just from this picture, that she's using certain indicators and volume, and a moving average here. So you can get an idea of what she's using without us saying any more than that. So, as most of these trading courses are, they're mostly pattern based or technical analysis based, and just different ones use different indicators and different moving averages and different oscillators, but they're all very similar. Very few teach fundamental analysis because that's obviously it's a lot harder, and it's also more of a long term. So pretty much all the courses you're going to see are going to fall into technical analysis or non-directional type trading. Now, which non-directional is typically the type we prefer to do in our account, but we have used these different types of technical analysis also, for setups and to actually buy options as opposed to selling them, which is typically what we would do. So yes, her courses are good. Yes, they teach a trading style, but again, our question goes, you're going to pay a lot for that, and there are a lot of other systems and a lot of other people out there that charge you, say, $50 a month, and you can cancel at any time, and you get the same type courses, and in my opinion, just as good a courses. So yes, they have value, but are they worth what you have to pay to get them? And that would be our question as we reviewed her trades. The second thing is, as you look at live trade alerts and yes, those came across. Yes, they're actionable. Yes, you can do something on them. But her system that she uses, and she says she uses a trade, we ran into the same thing there that we've run into with some other systems. Is you go through the course and you learn how they supposedly trade, and then you start getting the alerts or the stops or when you exit, and you're trying to match that up to the course, and you can find that's difficult to do. Well, that goes back to what we said earlier about sometimes the market changes, and no matter how good your technical analysis is, there is an art to trading, and if you're not that trader, if you're not the one that developed the system, watch the market, it's very difficult based on a rules-based or a system-based trading style to know when to get in and out. That's something that it takes practice to learn. So to say that you're going to come in and make, we'll say, $275,000 a year trading the first year, that number one, you're going to have a lot of money invested in order to make that. And then number two, you still got to go through the learning process, the art of trading. If it was simply about rules and systems, then you could build a robot trader and you'd make a fortune, but it doesn't work that way. Most robot traders lose money. I'm willing to bet 90% of them eventually lose money. They may work great for a year, but then the market changes or something changes, or another robot trader comes out to take advantage of that robot trader. So which we've done review on our site on robot traders too, and we urge you to take a look at that. It'll give you our overall opinion of robot traders and their flaws without us getting into it in this site. So I guess the bottom line and what you want to know is, did we think PetraPicks was a scam? No, we don't think that. I guess our only two concerns, one is the how much it costs as compared to some similar systems that are on the market. And then the second one is, don't fall into the, hey, here's your system, this is going to work and you're going to make lots of money, because it's not that simple in the stock market. Things may work today, may not work tomorrow. And one advantage that a trader like Petra Hess would have over you as a beginning trader is she's probably seen those things before, and she can tell when things aren't working, and therefore she can modify her system a little bit. She can get a little earlier. She might even stay in a little longer because she's done it long enough that she understands how that works, and you're not going to know that going into it. And it always upsets me when I see people like this, where Petra says solid track record of consistent verified trading profits. Every single one of these may be true, but there also are losses, and most time people don't tell you what their losses are, and that is very important. And I hate to see any system that doesn't go into it and go, hey, here are my losses. We haven't verified the reviews she has here in the bottom. These may or may not be true. Again, I can't tell you one way or another about that. But again, people tend to post the positive reviews. So the fact that there are no negative reviews that we could find when we searched for her is concerning, because people always lose money in these systems. So again, there are a couple of red flags that we like to watch out for. I hate to say that the fact that everything's tied back to Jason Bond at some point is a negative or a red flag, because we have looked at his systems. It's just that that over the top sales style always makes us wonder. And we are going to get into his systems. I think that's something we need to do, but we haven't done that yet, so I can't tell you anything about those just yet. So yes, I think this is a valid system. I think her strategy is valid. I think that there are cheaper ways to get it, but she does wrap it all in a bow for you. If you want to pay the money to get it wrapped in a bow, that's great. If not, I would urge you to check out some of the other reviews we've done on our site about other trading systems, and you may find one that works better for you, especially at the price. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments, please let us know below. Please subscribe to our channel. We would love to have you support our channel.